Hey, what's up, you guys? My name's Shay.
My name's Sada.
My name is Esther.
And this is the Dear Abby podcast,
where we give you advice.
Today, we have a special guest speaker, and his name is...
Rene. I'm a junior here at Deer Park High School. I take the news and media class to hopefully start my podcast soon.
Well, welcome in, Rene.
Hey, Rene.
Glad to have you.
Hey, excited to give advice to all the little girlies and our little guys listening in.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so I guess we're going to get into the topic. So today, we're going to be talking about insecurity.
Long-distance relationships.
And revealed secrets.
Let's get into it.
It's like a Halloween episode. I'm just kidding. We should do that. Okay. I'm ready.
So I guess we should just get into the first topic.
Alrighty, the first topic here is I hate myself is how she titled it, which is really sad. However, this is what our user said. I started to hate how I look in the mirror. My body has changed so much recently and I don't recognize myself. What should I do?
I feel like this is such a universal experience, unfortunately, especially 100%. Like, I don't know if you're a girl or if you're a guy, because I know that we each experience it differently, but I know coming from a woman's perspective, it's like as you get older and you grow out of the clothes that you fit into your whole life and you have to start buying new clothes, it gets and you're looking at yourself, it gets difficult. And I understand, you know, I guess what about you? Like from a guy's perspective, how does this resonate with you?
I feel like I could tie to this topic because when I was little, I was like really skinny and like I would always get told like, oh, like you're really skinny and stuff. And then as I got older, I kind of started like getting more weight and I started kind of loving my body a lot more.
Oh, that's awesome. What about you, Esther? How do you like resonate with this?
I feel like kind of similar to you. Whenever I was really little, I was super skinny. I was like so thin, and then whenever I hit puberty, I gained a bunch of weight, and then like ever since then, like I feel like my weight's fluctuated, and I feel like I've always been someone that like has tied like the way they value themselves to like the way they look, and like I like would determine like my self-worth like based on how I like think I look, which is like so messed up. And I would say to this viewer, like, you shouldn't, like, you're so much more than, like, how you look and, like, the number on a scale or, like, your pant size or whatever. And I don't even know if they mean about, like, weight or whatever. Like, it can go so much deeper into that. So I feel like you shouldn't really, like, value yourself based on your looks. And also, another thing is that, like, you may think you look like the ugliest person in the world, but, like, other people around you, they probably most likely disagree and they probably think you look like beautiful. So
yeah, which I can resonate that it's not the easiest thing to come to. Like, I understand that it's the type of thing that you are gonna view yourself how you view yourself just because like that's how you feel in the moment, and that is completely valid, and your feelings are completely valid. However, sometimes I do think that it's okay to maybe just like look in the mirror and find things that you love about yourself and say those things out loud, because those things are going to start hitting deeper when you start believing them.
That's true. I think it's a lot about belief, because some days, you know, I wake up even and I'm looking at myself and maybe my hair isn't done correctly, or maybe, you know, I have super dark circles under my eyes, and I know that that's maybe something that I just notice, but it's like I walk throughout my day and I'm constantly thinking about it. And no matter what anybody tells me, it's not going to change the way that I view it unless I'm sitting there and telling myself that it's okay and I start to actually believe what I'm saying.
As cheesy as it sounds, I do think that like self-affirmations help a lot. Mm-hmm. Like when you look in the mirror, and even like, you know how people put those like sticky notes on the mirror and they're like, you're beautiful, or your smile is shining, and you like say that to yourself out loud 3 times. They kind of really help low-key.
Like in my room, like on my mirror, I like write in a little expo marker, I always write to myself.
Wait, you do like self-love?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
I'm like, hashtag love yourself. Just so like, you know, like whenever, and it's like, it is cheesy, it's very corny, but it helps, you know, like sometimes, because sometimes you just need to hear it. Like,
yes.
I agree. You just need to hear it.
What about you? Too. I agree with what she said. Like, I don't know if y'all know Center Street Nutrition, how they write like the things on the cup. Yeah. It'd be cheering me up sometimes. Like, if you're having a bad day, just go and get a drink and they'll write something on it.
That's so sweet. So I guess what I would say is you need to give yourself some love. You need to give yourself some credit, because you know, oftentimes, as we were saying, you view yourself worse than people view you. And that's terrible and it's sad, but it's a reality that a lot of us live. So sometimes you just need a little self-affirmation.
Your body does so much for you.
I was about to say that.
And you genuinely have to just like give credit where credit is due, you know what I mean?
And like your body has been through so much, like especially like these past couple of years with like quarantine and COVID and all that stuff. Like your body's been through so much like different types of like stressors, so like you have to be like kind of like you have to kind of embrace the changes that it's going through.
That's a beautiful way to put it. I didn't even think about all the quarantining and kind of stuff that we've gone through, but it is true. It's, you know, people started working out during quarantine, but also people lost track of themselves, you know what I mean? And that's sad. But I think that we've all gone through super traumatic events, and we have to accept the fact that we're learning and growing from them, and that has to do with our physical self, not just our mental self. But
you are beautiful.
Hashtag love yourself.
Okay, so I think we can move on to our second topic now, which is long distance.
Alrighty, this user said, quote, "My boyfriend and I have to do long distance for college, and I love him wholeheartedly, but I'm not sure we'd make it an entire 4 years without growing apart. What should I do?"
That is so sad. That is so sad.
I so deeply resonate with this.
Like, me and my boyfriend, we have to do long distance whenever we go to college. So I'm kind of scared for that, but yeah.
That is mortifying.
Yeah,
that is mortifying.
It's kind of terrifying.
And what about it makes you scared? Like, what specifically about it makes you afraid?
I'm not necessarily scared because like I know we'll make it, you know, because like I know us, but like so many people are scared of long distance because of like oh, like what if he cheats on me, blah, 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 blah. If you're scared of that, like
you shouldn't be in a relationship to begin with
them, because like they could cheat on you here, you know, like okay, that's not a bad way to put it, but like you know, like, they could cheat on you here, so like you should be with someone you trust. But I'm more scared of like I feel like I'm someone who I need to see him a lot, whatever, to feel okay sometimes, like with us, you know, because sometimes I'll start like making up little scenarios in my head, you know.
No, I am completely with you on that. I am such like a physical, like intimate human being, and like I need to be around them for me to feel like not secure in our relationship, but
like I get it. Like my love language is quality time,
right? And
so like I need that.
If we were to be long distance for 4 entire years and get to see each other once in a blue moon, I think I might actually pass out.
You know, that's a good thing to bring up is like love languages. What's your love language? Like if you could break it down.
Well, I've never been in a relationship, so I don't really have like, I don't know. For this topic, I feel like I would just say like, go with like how y'all's relationship is doing. Like if y'all are doing good and you believe that y'all will last, I say just go with it. But if y'all are like not in a good place in y'all's relationship, you can always like take a break and just go get back to each other like in the future when time is right.
Like focus on yourself. I think that's, you know, we always talk about relationships from our perspective, and we're all three in like happy, loving relationships. Even Tyler over here is in a happy, loving relationship. So like all of us are on the same page with a lot of what we're talking about. So getting a perspective from someone that's single and is just looking at it from an outside lens is kind of a beautiful thing, because it just keeps us, you know, remembering that there are people having to deal with this that just don't understand what's going on yet, or maybe they have a deeper understanding than we do because we're so caught up in it. You know, with us, me and my boyfriend, we've had serious conversations about doing long distance because, you know, we didn't know for a long time if I'm going to UT Austin and he's coming with me. But there are a lot of, you know, ifs and buts.
Factors,
and there's just a lot going into it. So we've had serious conversations of what if we did long distance? And at first, you know, it was very worrying, but I'm happy to say that we're both on the same page of I would rather do long distance for however long it took than lose you, because I loved you too much to say goodbye. And that was a hard thing to have to deal with. But I think it just proves the fact that we're in love with each other and we can make it past whatever we have to. So, yeah.
I think it really just comes down to like the amount of work you're willing to put into the relationship, because obviously, not to say that like now you're not putting in a lot of work, but if you see each other constantly and you're always around each other, it's easier. But when you're so far away, you have to put in that work to talk to one another, to see one another, to communicate. Yeah. And it just comes down to how much work you're willing to put in whilst also going to college.
That's true. You know, it was like Rene was saying, I guess we're all kind of coming to this conclusion of you have to do it on a case-by-case basis, because what me and my boyfriend do, or what, you know, that girl that you see on the Instagram is doing with her long-distance boyfriend, that might not work for you, you know what I mean? And we have to accept that sometimes situations are different based on who we are, and that's just us as human beings. So I appreciate your perspective on, like, if you're in a relationship and it's good, keep going with it. Do what you want. Do what your heart tells you. But if you're in a place where you're questioning whether you should be with this person, then maybe it's time that you focus on yourself and have some me time and not tie yourself down to people that are making you question what is going on with your relationship. So
always trust your gut.
Yeah. Period.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
So that was it for topic 2. I hope you get through it, girly. I'm right here with you. So now it's time for our sponsorship. It's our little, you know, regularly scheduled segment of the show that everyone loves and looks forward to. You know, like our advice, mid, sponsorship, top tier. And it's all because I read it. So this episode and every episode is sponsored by Deer Park's journalism program. The class is split into 2 sections, one being news and media, where we collaborate to make podcasts, magazines, and dabble in graphic design, while the other class is yearbook, which designs the yearbook and photograph school events. Talk to your school's counselor or Mr. Wyman himself in room 2342. It's above the pool. About being in our programs. I also have to give a shout out to yearbook, you know, as a whole. I want you guys to go and buy a yearbook. It funds our classes. It funds the yearbook. And not to mention,
it funds our podcast.
It funds our podcast. It does. But you need to have those memories, you know, of high school. These are the glory days, right?
Oh, no.
You can go to deernetwork.com/yearbook to purchase one. And I hope that every one of you goes and does that, so we can continue giving you quality advice.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so back to our regularly scheduled program.
Alrighty. We got the big boy, the big topic. It is, drumroll please.
You probably just, your ears are terrible right now. I'm sorry.
Affair. Alrighty, so it is said, quote, this is the juicy one, guys. Okay. My dad is having an affair and he doesn't know that I found out. My mom is clueless about the situation. I don't know what to do. Should I tell my mom and ruin their marriage, or just stay quiet and grow to resent my dad?
Okay. I just want to say something. That is it. How that person said, should I tell my dad and ruin their marriage? If you do choose to tell your dad, because that's completely up to you.
It's the mom. The dad's having an affair, and she's like choosing to tell the mom.
Oh yeah. If you do choose to tell the mom, and you do make that choice, you did not ruin their marriage. The person that cheated did.
Agreed.
Yes.
So first things first.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can already see it. It's this battle of guilt. It's like, do I keep it? Because you're guilty if you do, and you're guilty if you don't.
It's giving Pretty Little Liars.
It is. Did you ever watch Pretty Little Liars?
No, I didn't.
So I know what we're doing after the show. Anyway, back to this serious topic. If that person, if your father, after you tell your mother what you found out, makes you feel like their marriage was ruined because of you, there's a problem with that parent relationship. Like, you are already having issues with your parent, if that's what it is.
Also, I just want to say, I'm so sorry that you're put in this position where you have to make this kind of choice. Like no kid, no child, should ever have to deal with that kind of thing because of their parents. But I personally think that you should tell them. Okay, again, it's completely up to you, but I feel like you should tell them, because think about it. If you were married, you would want to know if your husband is unfaithful.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's a bunch of different types of being unfaithful, but in this case, you can have this emotion, not to mention it's the emotional damage. Yeah. It's besides anything else that's going on, it's this emotional damage that it's happening to your mother and yourself because of your father's actions. And I am not one to really speak on this, because I come from a single parent household. My mom is a single mom, and I don't really know what I would do in this situation. What about you? What's your situation?
Well, my parents are still together, but I would tell my mom, just because I don't feel like it would ruin the marriage, obviously, but I feel like I would rather tell my mom than for me to keep getting hurt and knowing that my dad isn't being faithful to my mom. And I feel like you should tell your mom.
And I couldn't wait. Sorry, you go.
Sorry. No, I am sort of on the same wavelength with Rene, where it's the type of thing that I would feel guilty not telling my mom because like my dad wouldn't stop doing what he was doing because nobody caught him.
Exactly.
That's true. It's like, I mean, this is with anybody. If he's already having an affair, or it's not even about an affair. If he's already lying about whatever he's lying about and he hasn't stopped, it's because he hasn't been caught. So he's going to continue this action of lying or whatever he's doing until someone calls him out on it. And I think that my heart goes out to you because you shouldn't have to be the person that does that. You know, you're a kid, you shouldn't have to be in this position. But if it has to be you, then it has to be you.
The only thing I would be worried about is like them not believing you.
That's terrible. I didn't even think about that. Do you think if you told your mom about that, she would believe you?
I think I would like to say yeah, because like that's such a crazy, like outlandish thing to lie about. Like I feel like no child would ever because no child wants to come to that like sort of like realization that my parent did this to like my mom, whatever.
That's true.
Also, another thing is like I feel like I could never like just sit there and watch my mom be like think she's in what like she thinks is like a happy marriage, whatever. But like she's actually being lied to and betrayed behind her back.
That's sad.
And like the fact that he knows, but she doesn't know, like that's, I don't think I could like stomach that.
And I know you're probably not going to get back to us, but my one question for you is like, does your dad know that you know?
That's tough.
That would be so wild.
I feel like I would bring it up to my dad first, just to see like what his explanation is on it, and then I would go ahead and tell my mom after.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because it also depends on your relationship with your father. Like, what if you saw something and you're coming to conclusions without hearing your dad's side? Now, I am not ignorant, and I'm sure you aren't either. So I'm sure that if you're having to ask this, it is what it is. But you know, there's always that side of it, and you should get his perspective.
Maybe I'm a little biased because like I've always been like I'm such a team mom girl. Like my dad is like he's fine, he's chilling or whatever. But like worst comes to worst, I'm choosing my mom.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
You know, it's that, I think it's that relationship to your mom. Like, I don't know, me and my mom, yes, we tussle, not like that, but like we get into, you know, we argue, and if anybody did any harm to her, I would still be on her side. You know why? Because that's my mom, and like I know that she would be right there doing the same thing for me. Like if she saw
for me, bro.
if she saw Matthew doing something on me, she would definitely tell me. So I have to give her that same respect. You know what I mean? Like I think it's about respect at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're worried about like ruining your relationship with your parents, I feel like you can always reconnect to them.
They're your parents,
and you can like explain to them like I couldn't like just kept getting her like seeing my own family like not being faithful to each other.
And if your dad gets mad at you,
you should have to apologize to him because you didn't do anything wrong in this situation.
I agree.
It's a lie, you know, and they're meant to come out. You know, you can't keep something from someone forever.
I agree.
So
also, I just want to bring this up because if your mom found out about the affair on her own and knew you knew,
she would be so upset at you.
She would be very
not even upset, but like hurt.
Well, because in that situation, your mother is viewing it as you're on your dad's side.
Yeah.
And if you tell her about it, you're not on anyone's side because
you're just being a good person.
You're just telling someone like it is. You don't want your parent, you know, regardless. If the roles were swapped, I would tell you to do the same thing.
Right.
It's not like we were talking about being team mom, but it comes down to just
a respect
thing. You want that other person. Yeah.
Like morally, I just think that is the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess my final thing is my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry that you're in this position, but you need to really sit and think about the information that you know and how it's going to affect you, not your family, because like we said, your parent made that choice for themselves, and that whatever happens because of them, not you. But you need to do what's right for you. So whatever's going to make you feel whole.
I'm 100% on Shaylee's side with that. Just do what you feel you need to do, whether that is telling your mom or not, and whatnot, or maybe just going to your dad and telling him to stop the monkey business, so that way your family is like a whole or whatever. But just do whatever makes you feel comfortable and okay in the like household, I guess.
Yeah, I would totally have to agree with that. Just think about like how it would affect your family first, and then like kind of I would go off that. Like even if you think that it will affect your family bad, just do it. Like just do it,
because you have to make that moral decision,
right?
Yeah.
I would say like you should definitely sit with it for a minute and like think about like the best course of action. But at the end of the day, I would encourage you to tell your mom because she deserves the truth more than anything.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm so sorry. Today's topics have really just been like kind of hard hitting.
Yeah.
But I just want to put it out there that these are real people. These are people that you go to school with, they're your classmates, and they are reaching out to us and asking us for advice. And we encourage you to do the same because if you're in any of these positions, the advice that we've given it resonates with you. Go ahead and ask us about it. We're here for you guys. Go ahead and go talk to your school's counselor if you're dealing with anything that needs to be really addressed with you personally. And you have people out there that love you and care for you.
I do think it's like this is a good sort of segue to kind of push just kindness in general. You never know what's going on in somebody else's life. Like we get tons of questions every day, and these questions are coming from like your classmates, people that go to school with you. And so just remember that you don't know what's going on in other people's lives, and just to be kind because sometimes they're just having a bad day and they don't need you guys to like push it over the edge.
That's true. And this is why we have a guest speaker today. Rene is here, and hopefully we will have him back, and we'll have other classmates of ours, and maybe even you know what I mean?
And if you want certain people as a guest speaker, go on our Telling Me, DM us.
Yeah, just let us know. We can make it happen. This proves we are really wanting to involve you guys in our stuff and make sure that you guys feel, heard and yeah. So I think that about wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I want to give a shout out to our YouTube. It's the DRIB podcast, and it'll be coming to other networks soon. Also, we're on a weekly schedule now, so new episodes drop every Tuesday. Wanted to let you guys know that.
So y'all better be tuning in, setting your little notifications.
1 p.m.
Set a reminder on your phone.
Set a reminder. 1 p.m. Tuesday every single week. Listen to the Dear Abby podcast, where you get your A1 advice. Mm-hmm. I want to go ahead and shout out our Instagram. It is at dear.abby.podcast. The Tell Me link is in our bio. That's where you can submit all of your questions that we will later answer. That's where the Instagram is where you're gonna get all of your information. It gets all of our posts. That's where you get the links to all of our things. So go ahead and give us a follow. We'd really appreciate it.
And I would like to shout out our TikTok at Dear Abby Podcast. Follow it. We have a little like behind the scenes stuff, and we don't post there a lot, but like we're gonna start.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna start. I know she said that in the last episode.
Okay, for real. You know what? Nah, we're gonna start.
Okay, we're gonna start. Actually, we're gonna finish recording. We're gonna make a TikTok.
Yeah, right now. So let's give a quick shout out to Rene as well.
Rene, what's your Instagram?
It's Rene Beltran with 2 N's at the end.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming. We hope to see you again.
Alrighty. Bye guys.
Bye.